Hey guys, how y'all doing today? It's February the 18th, 2024. And today I want to talk about the deepest, darkest hole. And what I mean by that is the deep, dark hole that you get into when you get really far into alcoholism or either abusing drugs. I was just thinking about this the other day and was thinking about when I was a drinker and how bad things got for me during that period of time. There was a period of time there towards the end that I just really didn't see any other way out. I didn't know what to do. I was so down deep in the alcoholism that I didn't know how to pull myself out of it. And it was just, one of the worst things I've ever been through in my life, because I was so depressed and I was so drawn into the alcohol at that point that I just didn't know what to do. I had tried everything at that point. I'd quit drinking multiple times and then relapsed. And that time, I'd gone quite a long time without stopping drinking. And I was really starting to experience, I could tell that I was having health problems at that point. I wasn't feeling good at all. I was sick all the time. I was always nauseous. And I knew that it was starting to affect my body, but I didn't know what to do. I could not pull myself out of it. And I know there's some people out there that are in that same situation. And, I just wanted to talk about that today. The thing with it is that I've been there. I've been in the same place. If you're sitting there at home right now struggling and thinking about this, and that you've wanted to stop drinking for quite some time, and you've tried multiple times and it just hasn't worked out. I've been there. I know how you feel. I've been in the same shoes as you. I've woken up every single day hungover. Waking up in the morning thinking to yourself, today's going to be the last day. I'm not going to drink. And then getting stuck in that perpetual cycle where, you wake up that morning, you go to work, you try your best not to have that morning drink. You go to work that day, you suffer through the whole day. You're shaking, you feel horrible. And, you get off work and you go, I'm not going to do it today. And then next thing you know, it's like you didn't even realize what you did. You walked into a liquor store or the grocery store or a gas station, and next thing you know, you're back at home and you've got that black bag in your hand or that case of beer, and you don't even realize that you even stopped and got it, and you're just back at home with it. And before you know it, you're pouring yourself a drink. And, you're sitting there telling yourself that night, this is it. I'm not going to do it tomorrow. Today is the last day. Tomorrow morning, I'm not going to do this again. And you wake up the next morning and it's all over again. And before you realize it, it's been years. The days turn into months, the months turn into years, and next thing you know, the years turn into decades. And before you know it, you've been drinking for a very long period of time. And you just don't know what to do about it at this point. The waking up every single day, having diarrhea and throwing up. And I know that you guys out there who either were really bad drinkers or still are drinking, or you've even quit. I know that 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 waking up every single day, your guts are just tore up. You spend all morning on the toilet. I know at least I did, and I've spoken to so many people that have dealt with the same exact things as me. It's just part of it. And so many missed events that you should have gone to or could have gone to or wanted to go to that you missed out on because you felt so hungover, or you are missing events and things like that because you're hungover a lot still. I completely understand where you're coming from. I know how bad it is. Those constant headaches that you have every single day, and the anxiety that comes along with it, and the fear that you get every single day, and the shakes, and trying to sleep at night, you can't do that, and the time that you missed at work or the jobs. Just like when I was talking with Veronica the other day, and a bunch of people got in the comments and said I lost jobs due to alcohol. all the lost jobs and lost hours and lost time with family and all the stuff that comes along with alcohol. It's just there's so many bad things that come along with it, and I've been in that in that deep dark hole as well as you. And I know how scary it is, and you feel like you're never going to be able to claw your way out, and you've tried many times, and it just seems like every single time you try, you always fail, and you return back to the alcohol, and you don't know what to do about it. And you can start to feel your body deteriorating, and your mental cognition is not what it used to be because of the alcohol. There's just so many things that come along with it, and everybody deals with different symptoms from it, but the symptoms, all of them aren't any good, and I know where you're coming from. And the point of this video today is that I've been in your shoes. And for those of you that are drinking right now and you're still sitting there, you don't know what to do about it, I've been there. And a lot of people that are on this channel, they've all been there too. And I'll guarantee you that for any of you out there at home right now that are watching this video and you still haven't stopped and you're really considering it, and you really want to, I guarantee you that if you go in the comment section, you let us know that you're struggling, there's going to be a bunch of people that are going to hop in there and they're going to cheer you on, because they've been there too. They understand where you're coming from. They understand how bad it is. And for those of you that are at home right now and you've stopped drinking and it's been a period of time, and you keep getting those feelings like I want to drink, and I've done so well, I deserve a drink right now. Or it's that reminiscing of the good old days, the nostalgia that comes along with the alcohol, and you keep thinking about all these times that, oh, I remember that time I went to the beach and I had such a good time and we were drinking and it was just a blast and all that stuff. I know I've had those thoughts too. I think about it sometimes. I know where you're coming from. I know how hard this drug can get its grasp on you, and not just alcohol, but just drugs in general, and they'll get you and they hold you and they don't want to let go. But I promise you that if you stop, that there is a light at the end of the tunnel. And for those of you that are at home right now, and like I just said, you've quit and, you've got that nostalgia and you keep thinking about it all the time. I want you to really think back to when you were a drinker. If those thoughts are going through your head, really take the time. When you start thinking about, the fact that you want to have that beer and you think that, you've got those nostalgic thoughts in your head and you want to have a good time and you want to go to the bar and talk with your friends, I really want you to think back. Think back to that deep, dark hole you were in before you stopped. Really think back to then and how bad you felt, how depressed you were. Really think back to that time. Think about how bad you wanted to stop drinking. Think about that for a minute. Really think back on that. Because I promise you, if you really think back on those times and how depressed you were and how deep, dark in that hole you were and how you tried to claw your way out, you finally did it. You do not want to go back to that. I promise you don't. Because if you do, you're going to regret it. I promise you will. And the next time it's going to be harder. Relapse is part of this and it comes along with it, but I'm telling you, you really don't want to if you don't have to. And, you really want to try your best not to relapse. And if you have relapse, don't beat yourself up. I mean, it just happens. But really, I just really want you to think back on that day, those times when, you were like, just think about the worst day that you had as an alcoholic. Think about that time when you woke up in the morning and just you're covered in vomit and you don't know where your wallet is. You can't find your phone or you can't find your purse. You don't know where your car keys are. Have you ever woke up like that before? Because I know I have. I've woken up before and didn't know where I was at. I woke up, I had no idea where I was. Couldn't find any of my stuff. I'm laying on the floor at somebody's house. I have no idea where I am. I was so intoxicated the night before, and I just was at the bar, ran into somebody and ended up at somebody's house at a party. I was so drunk I didn't even know I even went over there. And that fear that you get the next morning when you wake up, and not just that, you want something to drink. You don't know where a bottle of water is or anything. You don't even know where you are. And then you got to try to find your car and all that that fear, that anxiety that comes along with that. I'm telling you, it's not worth it. It really isn't. So with that said, guys, if you're sitting here right now and you're really thinking about quitting drinking, I promise you that if you really try your best and you really love yourself, which I'm gonna make a video about that. Somebody asked me in the comments to make a video about self-love, and I'm gonna make a video about that because I've talked about that over and over again. That if you don't have that self-love, you can't quit. You gotta love yourself first, and I'm gonna do a video about that probably tomorrow. But today, I just want to bring a little bit of light, and for those of you, like I said, that are still thinking about this, you haven't quit yet. I promise you, I did it. I never thought that I would be able to quit. I was that bad of an alcoholic. I was a horrible alcoholic. I drank all day, every single day for years. And when I say I drank a lot, I'm not joking. When I say that I drank a half a gallon of liquor every single day, if not more. And then I drank beer on top of that. And that's not including the little shots of Fireball that I would sneak around in my pockets and take those. There's really no telling how much I really drank. But I can tell you it was a lot. And I can tell you that I never, ever thought that I was going to be here. Never. And I did it. You can too. I promise you that. You can stop. Please talk to a doctor first, though. Don't do it without speaking to a doctor. If you've been drinking for decades or however long, it just depends on the individual. There's no way to really know. Your doctor is going to be the one that's going to have to speak to you about it. But you need to talk to a doctor. They might have to put you through a medical detox, but speak to your doctor first. And for those of you, but like I said, if that's what you're going to do, you can quit. I promise you, you can. But for those of you also that have stopped and you keep getting those thoughts in your head and you keep thinking to yourself, man, I really would like to have a drink, just one. I promise you that one is going to turn to 2, it's going to turn to 3. And in a matter of no time, you're going to be right back to where you were drinking again. Or worse. It's just not worth it. And then you're going to be right back in that loop again. I'm telling you, you just don't want to go there. You just don't. I really want you to go and think back in your worst days of your alcoholism, how upset you were with yourself, how bad you felt, how sick you were, how bad your alcoholism really was. Think about how mentally off you were during that period of time. Your life revolved around alcohol. That was every single moment of your life was thinking about booze. When am I going to get my next drink? I got to hurry up and get off work soon. You guys know what I'm talking about. You keep looking at your watch, looking at the clock, and you're looking at your phone over and over and over again because you're just ready to get off because you want that drink so bad. And that's all that you're thinking about is that drink. You're not thinking about the fact that you got a family at home or, anything else. It's only about those booze. Trust me, I know. I've been there. I was there. I was way down in that deep, dark tunnel. I didn't see any light. I really didn't. But I've seen it now. I've stopped. And it's been almost 2 years at this point now, and I can tell you that my life has never been better. It's never been better than the way it is now. Even though I'm really sick and I've got a lot of health problems, this has been the best time I've ever had in my entire life. To live sober, to be around my family sober, to spend time with my children sober. The one thing that I have every single day is I get to walk in my house or my kids come home. But when they see me, they're proud of their dad. And they love me and I love them. And I don't ever have to worry about what I might have said to them the night before when I was drunk or whatever. Every day I see them, I love my children. They love me back and we get to spend time together as a sober dad. They're not embarrassed of their dad. They don't have to worry about their dad saying something awful to somebody or cussing somebody out because somebody, some road rage accident or whatever, because that's the kind of stuff that I used to do. Even if I wasn't drunk during that period of time, I was just always angry, and I was always in a bad mood because I was just so depressed about my drinking. I was just angry at myself, and I felt so bad all the time. And I took it out on other people because I felt so bad, and I was so depressed about who I was as an individual because I wasn't thinking about that. I was being selfish, and I wanted to blame everybody else for my problems instead of taking responsibility for my actions. I didn't want to take responsibility for me and the things I had done. So I continued to drink and continued to do those things. Did it every single day. And, you know, I look back on that now, and I look like a real jack you-know-what. But it's neither here nor there now. Here I am. This is where I'm at in my life. And I promise you that you guys can be there too. And if you're there right now, stay there. You don't want to go back. I promise you. So with that said, guys, I'm going to go ahead and hop off of here today. I just wanted to bring a little message of hope today, you know, just to remind you guys that have quit, don't go back. Don't even think about it anymore. It's not worth it. Just wipe that out of your mind and move on. I promise you, it's just not. And for the guys of you that, you know, are at home and you're really on the fence about this and you don't know, I promise you that there's light at the end of the tunnel. And man, life's so much better without alcohol in it or drugs. It really is. Being sober it's just so much better. And at the end of the day, you don't want to end up getting sick either. You just don't. You could save yourself right now. If you're not sick, save yourself. Save yourself the trouble. You don't want to be in my shoes, I promise you that. With that said, guys, I'm gonna hop off of here for today. I'll see you in tomorrow's video. I just want to let you guys know I love all of you very much, and I appreciate everything you guys do every single day. I appreciate y'all watching the videos, all the comments. You guys are awesome, and I really appreciate it so much. And with that said, guys, I'll see you on tomorrow's video. Bye-bye.